evening, everyone. I'm Adam Mana on behalf of Dave Reed, Video Experts, and the Brick. Welcome to the 27th Annual Brick Invitational Hockey Tournament. We are here at the Mayfield Toyota Ice Palace today for our feature matchup between the Toronto Bulldogs and the Detroit Redwings. The Bulldogs already played one game this morning and defeated their opponent 6-3. That was the Chicago Junior Blackhawks, and for Detroit, this will be their opening game of the tournament. We will have the opening puck drop coming right up after the national anthems.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Toronto Bulldogs as they visit the Detroit Junior Redwings.
Well, we thank you for joining us here at the Mayfield Toyota Ice Palace for the 5:30 game here at the Brick Invitational between the Toronto Bulldogs and the Detroit Redwings. As the fans got it started off the right way for the Redwings by throwing the octopus on the ice. I don't know if it was real or not. We'll have to get confirmation from the rink staff. See if they're taking that home to cook later. As we had a quick offside to start. Detroit's going to make an early line change as we're only 10 seconds in. They might be line matching here. Bulldogs don't seem to be too phased as they are 1-0 to start the tournament. They're coming off a 6-3 win against the Chicago Junior Blackhawks earlier today, and Detroit is playing their first game of the day. So we'll see if Detroit can jump on Toronto, maybe being a little fatigued. As Toronto now will chip that off the wall out to the neutral zone area. It is number 10, Orvaski. Orvaski will play it in deep, and Toronto will go into the forecheck as it's stolen there by Letourneau. Letourneau now gets some help from Colosimo. Colosimo still has it as he works it towards the goal, and your starting netminder for the Detroit Junior Red Wings is Landon Miller. And he will go against the other number 31, Ryerson Leenders for Toronto. So Toronto with the early pressure. Detroit looking to play it up the wall as it's kept in by Toronto at the point. And now Colosimo will play it down deep, and Detroit will try to play that up in their backhand. They turn it over, and Toronto will, that was number 9, Haig. Couldn't work it to the net, and Detroit now will play this all the way down the ice. And we'll have our first icing call of the night as we are a minute 16 in to this hockey game. As Toronto and Detroit are scoreless. As Toronto very successful at this tournament in the past 5 or 6 years, as you can see the banners all the way up around the second deck of the building here at the Ice Palace. And the Bulldogs are on there a lot in the last 5 or 6 years, as they have had a ton of success, and they look to continue that this year. As Detroit will try and gather it up in the near side corner, as the Bulldogs now will work it out, as the middle outlet pass to Haig was picked off, and now Detroit will backhand that back in. That was number 88, Tyler Stafford, as he goes off for change, and now number 19, Peter Moore, gives chase. Now they'll work it back to the point. It's played back to the half wall where Moore was swarmed by a Bulldog or two, and now it's kept in at the left point as Detroit once again will try to backhand that one towards the net. That's Hillock. Hillock played that right through the blue paint and out the other side as Detroit will glove that one down at the point, keep it in. Nice job going glove to stick. And now the Bulldogs have some skating room. It is number 8, David Green. David Green's going to take off all the way down the ice into the Detroit zone as all of his teammates abandon him as they all go for a change. And he finally ran out of room, but did his job by keeping the puck down deep into the Detroit zone. And Toronto now, as fresh troops out there, will get there with pressure. Detroit will look to chip it out on the near side boards as they get stripped. And Battaglia trying to bring it into the slot area. He overhandled it, and now Detroit will work it up over the Toronto line. Look at 5 Bulldogs converging on Storch, and now he'll backhand that down into the corner. Toronto looking to play that behind the net. Now they do, as it is number 15, Parek. Parek will play that around to Feldberg. Feldberg couldn't get there as Detroit turns it over, and now we got a 2-on-1 shaping up as it's Orvaski. Orvaski a low wrister, and that one is steered aside by Miller. And that was his first good stop of the night, as it's kept in by Parek. Parek had that chip by him, but out of the reach of number 71, Henry Bruskevich. And that will be icing on Detroit, as our director, Dave Reed, calling it a night. And I'm out of here. Looks like it's just Troy and my show now, as we've taken over operations here at the Ice Palace. 8:43 to go here in the first period. 0's up on the board. Toronto with the first real good chance, coming off a partial 2-on-1, but Miller was equal to the task. As now a shot right on, and they score! A laser beam from Dean Letourneau. And that was a bullet over the right shoulder of Landon Miller, and the Bulldogs take a 1-0 lead at the 8:39 mark of the period. And wow, can that kid shoot the puck? That looked like an Alexander Ovechkin shot there. And we'll see if that kid's playing for the Caps in about 10 years. As Ovechkin should be about ready to retire by then. He can just take his spot as Colasimo brings it in for Toronto off the face-off at center. Detroit's going to have to look to respond, as it is 1-0 Bulldogs here early. Not even 4 minutes into this first period. As if you're noticing on the screen, it looks a little bit darker. The sun has went behind a few of the clouds. And when we get shade in here, it's awfully nice. So we'll take advantage of it, as that puck rolled into Miller, and he hangs on. So both teams will make changes. 8:16 to go. Detroit looking to regroup after the Bulldogs goal, which came off an offensive zone face-off. And once again, Toronto's going to get another one of those in the same spot, as it's going to be number 97, Owen King. He tried to win that back on his backhand. He was unsuccessful, and Detroit plays it to the line and heads up, as the coach almost took that one in the coconut. And luckily that didn't hit him, and it went up into the crowd. So they get a new puck. That's a souvenir for a lucky fan. And I think they're just happy to be alive after that bullet. As Toronto now will look to gain control off the draw. Instead, it's going to be Detroit, as Detroit will stick handle its way down the left side. That's going to be Liam Storch. Storch tries to get some help from Van Vliet. Van Vliet with it. He will play that back to Storch. Storch looking to gain the middle of the ice. Storch tried to let the wrister go. He was whacked by number 19, Bianco Fiore. Bianco Fiore is going to test my knowledge on names here this week for pronunciations, as now Toronto looks to gain the zone. Storch is there for Detroit. Feldberg also. King now wearing number 97 for the Bulldogs. We'll play that down in the corner. Detroit will rim it around the boards to the far side, where number 24, Virgilio, will get there for the Bulldogs, but now it's cleared out to center for Van Vliet. Van Vliet brings it in over the line. Blocker save there by the Bulldog netminder. That's Leenders. That was his first test of the game, and that was from well out. And now here comes King. King against 4 Red Wings, 1 versus 4, as King gets bodied, as he gets the shoulder right to the chin, and he stays down. No call, and the Stripes letting it go. And Detroit will now ice the puck. And King looks to be all right. He's back on his feet, and he'll head to the bench. With 6:51 to go here in this first period. Toronto maintains the 1-0 edge on the scoreboard, and now they'll have a draw to the left of Miller in the Detroit net as Toronto wins it, and there's a quick shot once again by number 71, Dean Letourneau. And he came close there once again, lining up on the triangle there off the set draw. And now he's going to get some quick instructions from head coach David Damasio. And now Letourneau is going to take the draw himself. And now they're going to put Orvaski behind him. And Letourneau now backs out. Now they switch again. As they're running the triangle, they win it to the wall. The defenseman number 44, Cristoforo, was there as well on the boards, and was cleared out to center. As Detroit will go back to get it in their own zone. Toronto will get there. As they will keep it to the hash marks area, and a turnover as Battaglia and Orvaski was there for Toronto. And out in the weeds is Letourneau, as he was hanging out all by himself at net front, but Toronto couldn't get there. Now it comes out. Letourneau using his big frame as it's jammed away right in the blue paint. Letourneau gave an extra little whack. And I don't think anybody's going to be challenging the big man there at net front. As the dust settles, and with 6:11 to go, the sun comes back out here at the Ice Palace, and remains 1-0 as Miller has been the busier netminder so far in the net for Detroit, as Toronto will win that on their forehand. That was number 9, Haig. Haig now will try to get some help from number 13, Colosimo. And Colosimo still in there. Haig tries to dish it to him, and Colosimo was taken down. As now Bianco Fourier is there for Toronto. Bianco Fourier still with it as he lets his defenseman Fimis get in there. Fimis still at the right point on the near side. Will battle with a couple of Red Wings. Haig, nice job being on the D side of the puck. Not cheating, as he'll cover for Fimis just in case that puck squirts out. Now we'll go on the offensive side of things, and Detroit will gather it up at their own goal line. And now they get taken down again, no call. Stripes keeping the whistles away here, as Detroit will look to skate it on their own end, and they do. They have not had much pressure here so far, as Baker tried to bring it over the line, and Toronto will look to regain possession, and they will as they go D to D. And we had some rough stuff behind the play, and I don't know if they're going to take both guys. I believe they are. It's going to be Haig for the Bulldogs, and it's going to be, I believe, Hillman, number 8 for Detroit. So the penalties will cancel out. They'll be coincidentals. And it will remain 5-on-5, and now we'll have a face-off with 5:07 to go, deep in the Toronto zone. And this draw will come to the left of Leenders, who again hasn't really been tested so far in the Bulldog net. Toronto controls the draw, but they give it away. And now Detroit looks to pounce, as Storch will give chase for Detroit. Tries to get a stick on it. A big clapper there from the point is knocked down by a couple sticks, and now it will be number 8, David Green. Green will backhand that up the wall. Detroit will keep it in. Barnes, wrister from the left point. Goes off the back wall. Number 24, Virgilio for Toronto. Played it up the wall, but it's kept in by Detroit once again. They're doing a good job keeping pucks in at the blue line on this shift. Now they try to feed the weak side point, but it's stolen. And now here comes big number 88, Battaglia. Battaglia tries to work his way in over the line to the hash marks area. Stick handling his way in. He will look to jam it at the side of the net. Comes right back to a backhand try. And down in the butterfly is Miller, making a good stop there with 4:18 to go. Now Detroit will gather it up, and they are just going to look to clear this puck all the way down the ice as it will just squibble down to Reinders, who will just leave it for the defenseman and now play it up for Feldberg. Feldberg got the headman puck, or pardon me, the headman pass from Virgilio, and now Detroit back in their own zone once again, trying to get away from the Toronto forecheck as it's picked off by number 71 Letourneau. Letourneau, another wrister from the half wall area. He's already got one Gino tonight. He was looking for number 2 with 3:51 to go, but Miller once again has been sharp for Detroit. Just the one laser beam beating him over the right shoulder. And that's where we stand right now. As Orvaski now on the draw for the Bulldogs. He wins it to the boards for number 19, Bianca Fourier. As Bianca Fourier is still in there. He gets some help and now comes to the left point. A long shot in. That one easily stopped by Miller as he left it there for his defenseman. Now Letourneau getting his stick right onto the back of a Red Wing. Now heads to the front of the net as he's been tough to handle. And he uses that big frame of his. Him and Battaglia, 2 tough cookies to handle for Toronto so far. They fit the Bulldog mold perfectly as they are hungry out there for pucks. Now here's Orvaski. Orvaski centers, and Letourneau was almost able to connect. Back to the point. Wrist shot. Blocked there by a Red Wing. Still loose. Here's a backhand try. Where is it? It's still loose in the slot as they battle away. And now it squirts out to the far side boards as Toronto maintains pressure. Good shift for these guys as Bianco Fourier still in there. Now Orvaski helps him. Orvaski still in there as it is Bianchi Fourier centering as he tried to walk out in front and let the shot go as it got ricocheted to the corner. And Toronto just relentless on pucks here as Detroit is unable to clear. 2:35 to play here in the first period. It is still 1-0 Bulldogs as they center again. Right out front, Battaglia. Oh, and he gets robbed there by Landon Miller of the Detroit Junior Red Wings. And like we mentioned earlier, he's been sharp, but a spectacular glove save off Battaglia, who was sneaking in. Everybody forgot about him. And Toronto coming close to making it a 2-0 score here. And once again, Toronto mixing it up here off the draw, and King tries to push forward. And they're going with the Princeton push off the draw. As the centerman tried to push it through the legs and look for their backdoor man, which is the inside winger heading to the back post. Now Battaglia bumps his man as it's Fimis. Fimis for Toronto will battle with Van Vliet. Van Vliet and Colosimo still there. Now it is Fimis. Fimis will go D-to-D to his partner to start the regroup. They go up the strong side wall. King had to race over there as he's usually the center outlet, had to try and be the winger. Now Van Vliet, a little bit of sauce, had a man heading to the back door as that was Storch. And Storch rules a soft one in on Leenders. And nothing doing for Detroit there as Reinders jumps on it and hangs on. He's only had one real quality shot, and that was earlier on in the period, and that was from well out. So Detroit gonna have to work on their strategy of penetrating the slot area in the Toronto Bulldog zone if they want to get any chances and get back into this game. They are only down 1-0, and there's a shot right off the draw. And that was another good chance there. That was Edwards this time for Detroit. As they battle along the wall, that is Orvaski. He's back out there for the Bulldogs. Orvaski, good support position by Haig. Haig now will bring it around the net. He'll rim it to number 21, Jay Feldberg. Feldberg will feed his man. That's Orvaski. Orvaski quickly stolen by Jans of Detroit. Now Jans loses it. Haig. Haig will center, and that one was redirected towards the goal. It got blocked on the way. And now Virgilio. Virgilio still with it. He will pinch down the right side boards, and unfortunately it got rimmed around, and Detroit will manage to escape as they will just soft chip that one behind the D. And that was number 91, Jack Edwards. Edwards, the earlier chance in the shift, as we have 1 minute to play here in the first period. It remains 1-0 for the Toronto Bulldogs here as they're playing their second game of the day against Detroit, who is playing their opening game of the tournament. And now here comes Haig. Haig by himself, 1-on-3. Haig gets taken down as he still manages to center from his stomach as he was falling. Good second effort there by the youngster. And now here's Green. Green uses his backhand, goes D-to-D, and they'll play it off the wall. Nice play there as Letourneau. Letourneau just ran over his man. That was number 44, Mason Blow. As, again, the Bulldogs have some size and some skill here at the tournament once again this year. And now they feed a man backdoor. Christopher, oh, and that one shot low and along the ice wide. 15 seconds to play here as they go D to D again. Christopher, another shot, blocked. Another chance for Green. Green lets the wrister go. They got 8 seconds left. Bulldogs center, and that was just out of the reach of Letourneau, who was looking for a second of the game. And Detroit will manage to clear as time expires here on the first period of play. And to say the least, it was all Bulldogs. Even though the scoreboard says it's 1-0, Toronto maintained possession and control of the play. We'll see if Detroit can make adjustments here going into the second period down 1-0. We're ready to drop the puck here on the second period of play between the Toronto Bulldogs and the Detroit Junior Redwings. As the second period will be a 12-minute period. The first two here are 12 minutes. The third period becomes a 15-minute period. As Detroit will work its way over the line, and a hopping puck hops right into Leenders for the Bulldogs, and that was Storch getting that chance. And again, Detroit hasn't had much. We'll see if they can make some adjustments here and catch up to the speed of the Bulldogs, as Detroit should be the fresher team here, being their first game of the day, as Storch will look to win it to himself. He lets the shot go bounce right to his teammate there as he let the backhander go, and Detroit thought they had their first of the night. But that was Leenders sticking out the blocker and managing to keep that puck out. Now Toronto's Haig. Haig will work his way in against number 52, Blake Barnes of Detroit. Haig now chips out front, and there's a shot by Letourneau as he had that long reach, and I don't think Miller was ready for that one. But managed to get down into the butterfly and make the pad save. Now Detroit, nice little stick handling move there as he dangles his way to the middle, and the backhand try by Van Vliet. Couldn't beat the netminder. Now Van Vliet right in front, shot, oh! That is larceny as Leenders comes up huge for the Bulldogs as he robs Van Vliet a second time with the glove, and this game remains 1-0 Toronto. As that might be the highlight of the night from the Brick Tournament today, as we've seen some nice goals, but that was an outstanding save. And Toronto dodges a major bullet there as Detroit has come out harder here in this second period. And now here's Colosimo. This could be bad news for Detroit though. Colosimo backside to Orvaski, and he opened up for the one-timer on the 2-on-1. That's a great heads-up play as he received the pass and let the wrister go, but Miller tells Leenders, whatever you can do, I can do better. And he comes up with a pretty solid save himself, and that would have been a tough break for Detroit if Toronto would have came back after that scoring chance and managed to pot one. So Orvaski coming up big, Orvaski coming up with the chance, and Miller coming up big. As we have 10:47 to go here in the second, we're a minute 13 in. And we can say there's been two very good quality scoring chances, one for either team. Playing good tunes here at the Ice Palace here on this Monday evening, trying to get the crowd into it as Toronto wins the draw in the offensive zone. That shot deflected up in the air. Miller had some trouble catching it. That would have been an error on the first baseman, as Detroit will now look to play it up the wall. They do, and Fimis, a low shot, goes off the back wall and hops out the other side as Green was alert and jumps down and pinches down the near side wall. Detroit will look for the hit and pin. There's support man there. That's number 97, Hillock. Hillock right in front, and Colosimo comes close there for Toronto. As Detroit still trying to get it out of there, and Toronto is going to get called for the hook here. And a good call from the Stripes, as that will be an offensive zone penalty. And it will be a hooking call going to number 13, Joshua Colosimo. And so Detroit will get their first power play of the game. And we're not playing NHL style rules here, so the faceoff will not go all the way down into the Toronto zone. Detroit will have to be satisfied with the draw coming just outside their own blue line, and they control it as Moore will soft chip that into the corner, and giving chase is Van Vliet. Van Vliet was robbed early in the period by the glove of Leenders, and he's looking for revenge. As the long point shot deflected by Moore. Moore now will get there for Detroit. Moore along the hash marks. Tried to play it out, and the no-look pass was picked off, and Toronto will clear that 200 feet back into Detroit ice. Now it is number 9, Baker. Baker will fall, but managed to play that up ahead for Moore. Moore will spin away and didn't really know what to do with it. Battaglia steals. And again, for a big body, he handles the puck well and lets the shot go right on Miller. Miller, no trouble with that. And they'll play it off the boards to Christopher. Christopher will play that D-to-D to his partner and heads up. As it looked like he was aiming for our camera guy, Troy. Trying to wake him up here at the Ice Palace, his first game of the day. As Storch for Detroit loses it. We have under a minute to go in the power play for Detroit. And they haven't been able to get a good quality chance yet. Now they bring it in. This might be a chance. Right on, and Van Vliet was looking for that first marker, but once again, Leenders catches it right in the Bulldog crest and snatches that puck right up with 8:54 to go now here in the middle frame. Remains 1-0 for Detroit. Or pardon me, for the Bulldogs, as Detroit looks to get the equalizer, and right off the draw they will control. And they look to center, again a no-look pass. This time Detroit gets lucky and they will gather it up. It is Davenport. Davenport at the blue line. Spins away from Haig and he'll backhand that down into the corner. Now Toronto looking to clear, and it looks like they'll have a chance as it's going to be Letourneau. Letourneau will play that up ahead. He was, instead of looking to clear 200 feet, he was looking to hit his man Haig. Haig now will just retreat as Detroit will move it D-to-D as Barnes gives it back to Davenport. Davenport had the hinge option available. Ended up going up the strong side wall, and that is played behind Virgilio for the Bulldogs. He recovers, and Toronto's able to just sweep that out to center as Barnes trying to settle down a rolling puck. And now Detroit will play that ahead as they try to catch Toronto on a change. Virgilio, well, he's backpedaling, didn't mean to push the man offside, but it was a good play by Virgilio, and that pushes Detroit offside with just under 8 minutes to go here. And Detroit's power play has expired, so they are now 0 for 1 with the man advantage. And Orvaski lost that draw, and quickly they will go D-to-D in the neutral zone. Trevino tried to play that up for Bruskevich. Bruskevich still in there as Detroit will play that back in the net. They will now get there as they a little bit of contact in the corner. Now Toronto will regain control, and that's Orvaski. Orvaski will rim it around to his winger, number 19, Bianca Fourier. Bianca Fourier still with it. He gets swarmed by 3 Red Wings in the Detroit zone. Now we'll cycle it down low to Feldberg. Feldberg and Orvaski will try and create a turnover. They do, and Parek! Oh, a big clapper there, and that one was blockered away by Miller. Blocker save there as Green now will do a nice job going back to his partner Parek, who supported the puck well there. He got it, moved his feet up the ice north, and gets the puck back in as they play that one off the back wall, and it ends up rolling into Miller, who will quickly cover it up, and he says, yeah, I think I got the puck under there. He gives the ref a treat there with 6:58 to go. 1-0 Bulldogs continue to hold the lead. Detroit, their best chance was early on in the period. They haven't been able to get another chance like that since, as Toronto will keep this in at the left point. It is Cristoforo will not be able to keep that puck in, as Detroit will fire that the length of the ice. It will be icing, so the draw will come all the way back down into the Detroit zone and to the right of Landon Miller, who once again has been Detroit's best player so far, keeping this game at 1-0. And again, Toronto they are liking to run that set draw off the offensive zone face-off, the triangle. Now it's back out to the point, and Virgilio didn't miss by much as that one comes off the back wall. We've seen a lot of pucks bouncing off that back wall being active, and now Toronto will get it again. Here's Virgilio. Virgilio will play that back down into the corner for Battaglia. Battaglia walks right out and lets that shot go. And once again, Miller is there, as Battaglia has been a force up front for the Bulldogs, along with Letourneau, their two biggest forwards. And they've been very effective in the Detroit zone, especially down low in the corners. And there again, you see just a nice job stepping out, letting the wrister go and getting a good scoring chance. We have 6:25 left here in the second period. Toronto looking for the second goal, as Detroit has other ideas as they're going to bring it back the other way. Here is number 12, Ethan Jans. Jans almost put his man offside, and a wrister. Whoa, that was like a flop shot there. You would see in golf, that one almost landed right on the green, as Leenders had to be sharp and get that blocker up before it went into the top corner. Now the Bulldogs will bring it back the other way. It is Colosimo beat his man, driving into the net, and he gets tripped up on his way to the net. They could have called that goalie interference. As Fimis now back at the point, rebound, Miller scrambling to get back across. He was a little bit slow, but luckily Toronto fanned on it. And once again, Detroit will not hesitate to ice that puck. And they will relieve pressure, as there's 5:39 now left. 1-0. The Bulldogs continue to lead, but they are getting their chances here at the Mayfield Toyota Ice Palace. If you need a vehicle, go to Mayfield Toyota. They will hook you up. As the draw comes to the right of Miller, he's in the zone as he's jamming to the tunes in there, hopping around. And now Detroit centerman got waved out, so they had Stafford take it, and he won it. And now it's rimmed around to Van Vliet. Van Vliet, nice little play on the wall, beats the pinching D. Will center that one as it's sauced over the stick of Stafford. He'll get there. Stafford, that centering pass blocked. As Van Vliet back to the point. Detroit tried to go D to D, and that was the wrong move, as it could be a breakaway. Haig trying to get there for the rolling puck. Backhand, forehand, and he put it towards the net, and Miller just got a piece of it. And Toronto's Letourneau couldn't get there to finish it, as he was lurking for a second goal of the game. Now Detroit scrambling in their own end. They look to find it. Van Vliet will just chip that off the wall. And now they get a fortunate bounce. Almost went right to Stafford, who was able to break the seam. And now here is Storch. Storch left it for Stafford. It is delayed offside on Detroit. Now it goes under the stick of Davenport, and Davenport will have to hurry. As Toronto gives chase, that's Bianca Fourier. As Bianca Fourier couldn't get there, and Toronto's Fimis now couldn't catch Jans. Jans tried to one-hand that one past Parek. Now a shot right on. It's loose. And Storch got in there with a couple whacks, and the Bulldogs didn't like that. They're like a pack of guard dogs around their netminder there. And they make sure they protect him. In the pipes there with 4:34 to go now. It remains 1-0 for the Bulldogs. As Detroit gets a chance there, and now they get the offensive zone face-off. They looked like they were trying to go forward with it, but the Bulldogs will gather it up, and now Bianca Fourier trying to battle with Jans. Jans lost it. Now here's King. King's got some room. Right on. Rebound. Miller was able to get his paddle down and make sure that Toronto couldn't pounce on that rebound, as Miller has been outstanding in the Detroit net so far through about 20 minutes of play. And once again, he robs King there, kicking out that right pad and then controlling the rebound as Toronto wins the draw. But Orvaski was pushing through to the net, so he missed it. But it will stay pinned up against the boards right in front of the Bulldog bench, as it is Bianca Fourier. Bianca Fourier tried to slip that one to Orvaski, and now it is Detroit. Jans. Stripes took a tumble. Oh, look out. As we had a sniper in the crowd in the first game, and it looks like we got another one here as he got him in the leg. And ended up falling to one knee, but he looks like he's okay. He's still looking around for him. And now here's King. King for Parek. Parek jumping up. Nice feed back door. And unfortunately for Bianca Fourier, he didn't open up for that, and he got handcuffed. And now Parek jumped up on offense. He was quick to get back on defense. And now Orvaski got a stick on it, and that slowed the puck down as Bianca Fourier is able to get there. Barnes for Detroit will look like he was going to rim it on his forehand. He fooled everybody and went on his backhand. And now Detroit will just clap that one all the way down the ice. And I would say that's Detroit's 5th or 6th icing call in this game. And I wouldn't say they're unintentional. They've definitely just been icing it to ice it, but they are able to change on the icing. Not playing NHL rules here, where they gotta keep that line out there. So apparently the players were too young to incorporate those rules, as they are only 10. As now Colosimo still with it, down into the corner. Haig will help out. Haig now finds it, he centers, and Battaglia, the big frame, was waiting to receive that pass. Nice job there by number 8, David Green, as he broke that one up. Green trying to get there. Storch now, a low shot, kicked out, rebound. Oh, and 2 huge pad saves there by Leenders, as he hasn't been tested all at once, but when he does, he has been spectacular, as that was 2 incredible saves there, kicking out the right pad twice. As Detroit comes close once again, this game could be tied at 1. Here's Bruskevich. Bruskevich will sauce that one through the neutral zone, up for Van Vliet. Van Vliet, this line has been the most dangerous line for Detroit as Storch gets there. Storch looking to wrap it around. There's a shot. Oh, and he was looking behind him, and he managed to keep it out with the glove. Now Storch from his knees, right on Van Vliet, jams away. And another big save from Leenders, who is looking sharp in the Bulldog net now, as he has been getting tested. And it's not just the Miller show down in the Detroit end. Leenders coming up huge with 2 minutes left in the second. And Detroit's probably wondering what they're gonna have to do to beat them. As the Storch, a great job by the Storch line, getting some opportunity there, as Detroit will keep that puck in once again. It is number 88. Stafford getting knocked down. Detroit now will have to quickly regroup at center. They gain the red, and Trevino will whack that one in. Parek goes D-to-D to his partner. Fimis, nice job to protect it and play it around the boards for number 21, Feldberg. Feldberg feeds Orvaski. Orvaski still with it, coming down the right side, backhand try. Rebound pops out, Parek jumps up, and there is Miller sliding post to post and making the save up around the shoulder area. And Miller doing a great job, and you can see Trevino giving him a solid hug, maybe a kiss in there too. As with 1:37 to go here in the second, Toronto now comes back with a chance of their own, and both teams having success shooting far pad, creating that second opportunity. And every coach is teaching their players that if they don't have the pass, shoot for the pillows, and that rebound might pop right out to your stick like an indirect pass. And that was almost the case there, as Toronto will line it up here. Letourneau is going to line up right behind Orvaski, as you got Parek down to the hash marks. He's the defenseman, and Orvaski will win it to Parek. Parek pushes right through, and a quick whistle. And somehow the fans aren't all over the Stripes there. As Stripes says, well, my bad. You can accept that. As Toronto will just line up regular now off the draw, and Parek gets it. He let the shot go. Nice job by Hillock getting out there to block that one, and Hillock now will get his stick lifted, and Orvaski will roll that behind the Detroit net. We have 1:15 to go before we get a flood here between the second and third. It remains 1-0 Bulldogs here at the Ice Palace in West Edmonton Mall, as Detroit will look to skate it tight around the net. They turn it over, rebound. Oh my! Miller comes across again and absolutely stones Letourneau at net front. Can you believe that save? Unbelievable. Our cameraman is stunned. He hasn't even moved the camera. And now he finally shakes his head, and yeah, he's still with us here. Unreal. As we are seeing highlight reel saves here by both netminders, but Miller, outstanding. With 59.5 to go, again, that could have been a game changer. And Miller's giving Detroit every chance to stay in this hockey game, as it remains 1-0. Wow. Seeing some, the goalies are stealing the show here at the Ice Palace, as Parek to King. King on the half wall, falls. Now Haig thinking about getting in there to help him out. He does. Haig creates a turnover as King looking to win a battle. King still with it, and now Detroit will gather it up. And once again, they just elect to ice it. And, or pardon me, there was a, oh, I'm sorry, there was a penalty on the play. I'm falling asleep here in the booth. Detroit was penalized, so they were allowed to ice it. And it was a roughing call after the whistle. My apologies, as Toronto will go to their first power play. And late in the period here with 15 seconds, they'll look for one last chance. As Fimis played it back down deep, Haig couldn't get there as Davenport on his backhand will lose that one. Perek, 5 seconds to go. Perek still has it, he drags, lets the clapper go right on it. It was redirected, rebound off the goalpost. Hops out to the point, and time will run out. As Landon Miller is stealing the show here at the Ice Palace for the Detroit Red Wings, as he comes up with another 2 big saves. And he might have got a little help from his friend, the goalpost there late. But the Bulldogs remain up 1-0 as both teams will head to the dressing rooms to regroup. And we'll have the third period for you coming up after the flood. Well, we're set to drop the puck here on the third period of play between the Toronto Bulldogs and the Detroit Junior Red Wings. As it is a 1-0 Bulldog lead, they will resume on the power play here with 50 seconds to go as they look for the second goal of the game, and that shot right on. And Miller once again down into the butterfly, makes the stick save, and then eludes to jump on the rebound. As we're 14 seconds in, 47 seconds remaining in the power play for Toronto. Detroit is 0 for 1 with the man advantage. Toronto is on their first power play. As Detroit will control the face-off in their own end, and they will manage to clear it to the blue line, but nice job there by Christopher as he was able to sprawl out and make the sliding save at the right point, and he keeps the puck alive. Now let's see if it leads to something, as Battaglia will slide that puck across. It was picked off, and you can see the Bulldogs coaching staff not too happy with that pass, and they pull him off right away. As now Detroit trying to gather it up right at their own blue line as King will give chase. Toronto will have the puck right in front of their own bench. That was Orvaski. Orvaski will slide it to King. King gets it knocked off his stick, but manages to roll it into the zone, and here is Green. Green, the defenseman for the Bulldogs, pinching all the way down into the corner. Rolls it back of the Detroit net as he now gets taken down hard. He looks to be okay, and now he's going to retreat back to the point, and we got a face-off coming as the puck was pinned up along the wall, so they blew it down. So we're a minute 15 in here, a minute 15 into the third period here. Bulldogs still holding, up 1-0. You got to think Detroit's going to have to penetrate the Toronto zone and look for some scoring chances in the house area if they're going to tie up this game. They had a few in the second. They're going to look to do it again here in the third as a rolling puck right on Miller. It looked like that was a delayed reaction as he didn't see it until the last minute, and then ended up getting his pad out. And Toronto will now gather it up on the half wall. They lose it to Detroit's defenseman, who will clear it off the wall, but not out. Virgilio for the Bulldogs was able to get away. Now they play catch. Virgilio has some time. He's looking to blast this thing. There's a shot, redirected on front. Miller was sliding the out of the net and managed to get a piece of it. Now Detroit's Van Vliet looking to get away. Toronto keeps control. Letourneau still with it. Now Detroit looks to bring it out as they could have had a partial 2-on-1. Orvaski, one hand on the stick. Letourneau runs into Van Vliet as Orvaski will slide that to the blue line, and Barnes now for Detroit will take off up the far side boards as he will play that in off Green's shin pad down behind the Toronto net as Van Vliet looks to cut it off for Detroit right up the near side boards here as Van Vliet still waiting for a puck to come to him. It bounces off his skate and goes right to Moore. Moore gets bumped out to the point. There's a shot by Barnes right on, and that puck was going wide but Leenders takes no chance, slides out and snags it for the whistle with 12:23 now left to go. Still a 1-0 Bulldog lead as the draw comes to the left of Leenders. As Toronto will gather up that puck in the slot, and now we'll head man it to Haig. Haig will dish to Colosimo. Colosimo will give chase against number 25, Trevino. As it becomes a 2-on-2 battle in the corner as Felding backs out as the F3 for the Bulldogs. Now Detroit will try and play that up. It's blocked by Felding. Nice job taking the inside out route there by Felding. As Toronto looks to regain possession in the Detroit corner. Now they look to walk out. Nice little dish there. Haig lets the wrister go. It's knocked out of midair by a glove. And Toronto coming close there as Haig regains control. They look to go to the F3. It ends up sliding to the point. Nice D-to-D. Fimis has got some room. The slide block. Rebound. They score! Fimis with the shot. And I believe it might have been Feldberg putting that one home right in the blue paint. And you put pucks towards the net and get bodies there, good things happen. And it is now 2-0 Toronto with 11:36 to play here in the third, and a great job going D-to-D at the point and firing that puck low for a rebound. And once again, the Bulldogs capitalize. We'll have to see if it was Feldberg on the goal, as there was a couple Bulldogs right in the blue paint, so we'll wait for the announcement. But the assist will go to the two defensemen. That would be Fimis. Fimis and number 44, Christopher. As Toronto works it back inside the line as that shot was knocked down. And now cleared by Detroit. And it will go all the way down the ice for an icing call. So Detroit will have to regroup here. They've had their chances, but they haven't been able to capitalize. And Toronto was able to do it there on another rebound that Miller spit out. And he's been real good at making those second saves, but on that one he had no chance. And so Toronto will line it up. That was Orvaski on the draw. Detroit trying to get one more man off the ice. That's Blow, as they'll drop the puck. And now here's Battaglia. Tries to feather that one through to Bianca Fourier. And it was Feldberg on the goal for the Bulldogs. So he will get credited with his first goal. As now it's Van Vliet. Van Vliet for Detroit. Looking to get away from Battaglia as he will wind up. Now bringing it over the line, but Storch was a step ahead of the play. And it will be offside on the Redwings. We're running out of time here with 10:50 to go. And they're playing a classic Beverly Hills Cop tune here in the Ice Palace. I was watching part 3 actually this morning. If anybody has movie time on their satellite box. Classic movie. As Detroit will look to play it in. Davenport will come down the far side. As Toronto looks to clear. Now Moore and Storch converge as it's kept in at the left point by number 7, Rayon Mully. And now Toronto works it back in over the Detroit blue line as Bianca Fourier has some room, but he pushed it too far ahead of himself, and Storch now will get there. He's taken down, and we got a penalty coming to the Bulldogs. And it will be Bianca Fourier going off for tripping. And Detroit will go to their second power play now, as they are 0 for 1, and this would be a good time to get one and climb back into this hockey game with 10:14 to go. As Detroit will have Van Vliet back out there with Hillock. And now it is the puck carrier coming down the right side. That was number 88, Stafford, with that shot. And that was right on, but once again, Leenders no trouble with that. Hangs on. So the call was Bianca Fourier for the Bulldogs, tripping. And Detroit with the power play. They managed to keep that clearing attempt in at the right point. Now they play to the half wall, running the overload here as they got a chance. Van Vliet was taken down right in the slot. Now they battle for it, and there's the big frame Letourneau managing to find that puck and get it all the way down the ice as they clear back into Detroit ice. 1:30 remaining here in the power play. They backhand that up the wall. Letourneau anticipates and jumps to that loose puck, and he'll play it back in the net as Davenport tries to get there for Detroit. He'll softly backhand that one up the near side boards. Nice little toe drag by Van Vliet, showing off some skill there as it's number 97, Hillock. Hillock centers for Stafford, and once again picked off as the Bulldogs. That could have been a hook, but they let it go, and Toronto was able to clear anyways. As there's 9:15 now remaining, a 2-0 Toronto lead, their second game of the day. You know they'd be very happy with 2 W's on the day, especially playing a Detroit team that's playing their first game of the day. And now Toronto will fire that one back down the ice. That was Feldberg. And Orvaski will give chase. Aggressive on the PK forecheck here. Orvaski now steals. Orvaski quickly getting swarmed there by Blake Barnes. And Barnes gives him a little bit of body. And now will knock him off the puck as he separated him. And Detroit will once again turn it over. Orvaski still with it. Orvaski a low shot. And that one stopped by Miller. As Detroit will play that up the wall. And once again another turnover as Feldberg manages to pick that one off. Feldberg staying in after it. 8:30 now left to go. The Bulldogs crowd appreciates the job well done on the PK. And oh, that one, they got away with one there. That was Orvaski. And they're trying to stretch one of the Red Wings up near center as Miller catches it, quickly drops it. And now Detroit will play it up ahead. That's Jans getting the pass from Barnes. Jans getting whacked by Green. Jans, a bad angle shot, was looking for that far pad. Haig now picks it up as they were looking for the chip ahead to Battaglia. Now here is Green sliding it to Haig, and he couldn't get the shot off as he was all alone at net front. And now Battaglia calmly plays it back to the point. Colosimo shot right on, and that one through a maze gets caught by Miller. And he keeps this game at 2 Cobb for the Bulldogs. And now we're flashing back to a night at the Roxbury here at the Ice Palace. As there's classic movies all over the place here as Parek lets the wrister go wide of the goal. And now Fimis at the left point. We'll play it back down. It is picked off by Blow. Blow staying in after it, trying to throw out some cross checks. Feeding out the lumber. As Colosimo will get there for Toronto. He will spin and backhand that back to the point. Got some help from Battaglia. Now they go D-to-D to Parek. Parek a wrister right on, and that one eaten up by the logo and crest of Miller. And well, again, you see some pushing and shoving after the whistle as Haig got challenged there by big number 2-5 Trevino, doing his job at net front as the defenseman. 7:22 now left here in the third. Remains a 2-0 score here at the Mayfield Toyota Ice Palace. And now Battaglia trying to bust through the seam right off the draw. As Haig, a little bit of a cross check to the back of the Detroit defenseman as Toronto centered. And nobody was home as it comes back out to center where Parek will wheel it. Parek tries to chip it off the wall. He ends up losing his footing and manages to stay on side as Haig. Nice little dangle there. Another nice dangle around his man. Now sets up Battaglia, and that somehow stayed out. Wow, some great hands there by Haig. The arena staff were calling for a penalty shot there. I'm not sure why. As Detroit now comes back the other way. Here's Van Vliet, 2-on-1 with his man. That's a wrister, and he snipes top chance. That was number 21, Liam Storch, getting the pass from Van Vliet. And that's where Grandma hides the cookies. As it is 2-1 now, Toronto leading. Great feed there from Van Vliet to Storch, as he makes no mistake under the bar. And with 6:37 to go here in this third period, look out, we might have a finish for you as it's 2-1. And this will ignite the Detroit crowd and the Detroit bench as they come back again. Here they come. Hillock coming after it. Detroit looking to get another one here. Stafford, he's at net front and it's loose. The get robbed. It's loose still. Where is it? Oh, Detroit coming so close there as they almost tie up this game. And now we got some action here at the Ice Palace. As there remains 2-1, but Detroit buzzing around the Toronto net. That puck probably should have gone in, but Leenders was up to the task, and now King comes back down the right side. King with 6 minutes to go as this game's heated right up now. King now still with it. Still trucking away below the goal line. Now will look to walk out. He loses the handle, and now Detroit stretching their man again. It's picked off by Green. Green will now skate his way over the Detroit blue line down the far side. Or pardon me, down the near side. Green still with it. Looks to center. There is Orvaski picking it up. That shot was blocked. Orvaski now sprawled out, trying to get it towards the goal. Oh, and Orvaski gets a shoulder there. There's a chip shot there by Letourneau. Goes over top of the bar. And Detroit now scrambling a little bit themselves as now they gather it up. They got the Bulldogs caught, but Letourneau got a piece of that pass. Went off his shaft, and now it's played back in as Toronto will tag up on the offside. And a couple guys went for a change. A couple stayed as Detroit now will play that out center. Green will skate it over the line. Green gets bumped there as he continues to battle. Orvaski now has a step, looking to walk out. That shot right on. Miller had trouble with it. It's loose. And they're right on top of it. That could be a penalty shot. If the stripes is in front of it, now the arena staff should be calling for that. As it looked like he covered it up with his hand right in the blue paint, and they're saying no penalty shot. As Detroit dodges a bullet with 4:49 to go. And it remains 2-1 here for the Bulldogs as both teams trading chances here as this game is suddenly opened right up. Now Detroit wins that draw back. It is Davenport playing it around the wall as he rimmed it to Moore. Moore now will look to chip that ahead. It gets over everybody's head to Van Vliet. Van Vliet overskated it. Detroit now. Here they center to Van Vliet, who let that backhand go, and another glove save there by Leenders. Now a wrister. That was blocked by Christopher. This game has picked up immensely here at the Ice Palace as we are going to have an exciting finish here with 4:20 to go. Orvaski will give chase on the forecheck. We'll get help from Feldberg. Feldberg right now has the game-winning goal under his belt. As Moore will look to chip that to the middle of the ice. Van Vliet will come over. He's running out of position right now. Took his man into the wall. As they will now look to chip it ahead. As they are right in that danger zone. And now they'll play it off the wall, and it should be icing as it had a little bit too much steam and carry to it, and it will. So with 3:52 now left, the draw will come back down to the right of Miller. And boy, what a game this has turned out to be. As it's Troy, our cameraman's first game of the day. He's loving it. He's just jacked right up here in the booth. As Toronto will control off the draw. Battaglia uses his size to knock his man down, and now he'll continue to battle with King. Detroit will find it. They will play it ahead. Their man wasn't looking there. That was Jans. Jans couldn't win the race as Virgilio keeps it in. 3.5 to go. Detroit, the clock is not on their side right now as Virgilio gets dumped. No call there. As Virgilio now pulls out the weed whacker and just chops away. As him and Storch were giving each other a couple whacks. Now they look to hit the stretch man. That was Jans. Detroit really trying to back up the Bulldogs defense core here late in the third. Now Detroit stays on it. That is Storch. Storch has been all over the ice on this shift. Storch, he's got to be gassed as Toronto continues to keep control down in the Detroit zone. As that puck will now come off a Toronto Bulldogs skate. That was Perek going D to Virgilio. Virgilio plays it off the wall to Battaglia, and Battaglia will just chip and chase as he'll stay out there, but King will like to go off for a change. 2:40 now remaining. Detroit looking to chip that to the middle of the ice. It's stolen now. Letourneau, who had the first Toronto goal, still with it. Uses his body to protect it. He's thinking about what he's going to do with it. He still has it. Plays it down low to Bianca Fourier. Bianca Fourier tried to wrap. No go there, and Detroit will look to pick it up. It's Van Vliet. You got to think this Van Vliet line is going to be the line they're going to go to here with 2 minutes to go, and here comes Van Vliet. Van Vliet by himself is going to try and dangle it. He does. Van Vliet with it. Van Vliet, oh, he just put it wide on the blocker side. The Bulldogs coaching staff thought that was big time trouble, and it was, but Van Vliet unable to finish. That was a grade A scoring chance that Detroit did not take advantage of. Now a 3-on-2 over the line. They got their man going to the net, backhand try, rebound, and Leaner's down. Trying to find it now as it squirts out to the near side boards. Detroit's defenseman thought about pinching, that was Baker. And he said, no, that's too far for me to go, so he backed out. Wise play as Hillock gets dumped. And they're gonna call it on the offside, no penalty though. And with 1:33 here remaining, we'll see if Detroit will take their timeout. Despite the faceoff being outside the Toronto Bulldog line, the net is empty. So I'm assuming they might call it here, and they will. So they will call their timeout. Both teams will go to the drawing board. We'll take a quick TV timeout and return in about 30 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, Detroit Red Wings have called a 30-second timeout.
Looks like both teams are ready to go here. Minute 33 left in the third. Detroit's got a 6-on-5 advantage with the net empty as they look to use the extra attacker here. Could we see back-to-back overtime games here at the Ice Palace as Van Vliet gets the outlet and will rim it around the boards back of the Toronto net. See if Toronto's playing the box plus one here against the 6 versus 5 as Detroit will play it down low. Detroit still with it. Gets hung up there as Detroit, Van Vliet will get there. There is 1:10 now remaining. Barnes waiting for it at the left point. It doesn't get to him. Van Vliet now will have it go over his stick. Will this have enough gas for icing? It is going to, yes, just barely. And now with 59 seconds left, will the Bulldogs use their timeout? I'm going to assume no, as they're going to get fresh guys out there anyways. And they're not going to let Detroit draw up another play, which is a wise move. So the draw will come to the right of Leanders. And Detroit, you're going to have King on the draw for the Bulldogs, and Detroit's going to have Hillman on the draw for the Red Wings. And Hillman will lose it. Perek tries to play it off the boards. They get it there, and now Toronto will have some room as King looks to seal it. King down the right side. King will score. King into the empty net. Detroit didn't apply any pressure on him. And with 48.6 to go, that's going to seal the deal for the Bulldogs as they take a 3-1 lead here late at the Ice Palace, and they are going to move to 2-0 on the tournament, barring a massive collapse here with 48 seconds to go, as Toronto will control the draw. Detroit has put Miller back in the net, as King will stay out there, and King on his backhand will roll that ahead as Orvaski will leave it for King. King, nice little move, gets tripped as he got dumped there, and Miller was able to cover. Letourneau gets bumped, and Bruskevich throwing a high elbow as he got away with one there. 31.3 left to go, and the draw will come to the right of Miller as Toronto will change it up one more time here. They are the visiting team, and no objection from the Detroit bench, even though there was a late change. Stripes allowing it, giving them the green light as Baker for Detroit will battle along the boards. Getting a little bit rough in there as both teams trading shots. Colosimo now will leave it as they go D to D, and here's Christopher. Christopher all by himself let the wrister go, and there is Miller challenging out to the top of the blue paint, and once again makes a solid save. And now the rough stuff has continued, and the Stripes has finally had enough. They let him play enough, so they're going to take Colosimo, and he's going to go for roughing. It's going to be Colosimo with 11.1 left. It won't matter. It won't help the Detroit stat book, though, as they're only going to have 11 seconds on the power play. And Toronto will win it. Cleared back into the Detroit zone. Oh, and the Stripes take another huge spill right in front of the camera. He even had to give himself an applause there, as he's had a rough go. And that's going to do it here, as the Toronto Bulldogs will wrap this one up, and they will defeat the Detroit Junior Redwings by a score of 3-1. Toronto will move to 2-0 on the tournament. Detroit falls to 0-1. We thank you for joining us, the viewers online, and we will have your 3-star selection coming right up.
This game's 3-star sponsor is Shaker of Canada, here to present Sonny Seacon. Your third star, number 31 from Toronto, Ryerson Raiders. Your second star, from the Detroit Redwings, number 31, Miller. And your first star, from the Toronto Bulldogs, number 71, Dean Letourneau.